Today we are sending in some of the Imperial Guard's finest, the Kasrkin. Hailing from Cadien, these are the elite of the elite when it comes to the special forces of the Astra Militarum. And today we are going to be painting him up in pretty much the easiest scheme I can think of. But first, we need to start building him. And I must say, the building experience of the Kasrkin are some of the best I've had, and they're very enjoyable. However, this miniature is far too clean for my liking, so let's add some battle damage to his armor. And the general way I go about making battle damage on armor is to add a few slices with my hobby knife, just to make it look like he's been clawed at by whatever mysterious beasts he's been fighting through his years of battle. Then, a really fun way to add some easy battle damage is to start making some bullet holes in his armor pieces to really give that worn down effect. One thing I do recommend not doing though is going overboard and scratching too much of the armor panels up. As I found out later on when I started to paint it, it can make the model look a bit doughy. So after going into my garden and observing the wreckage that was once my fence, it's time to prime this Kasrkin up, and I start with a black spray, then I follow on with a white spray from the top, and this creates a zen of a highlight. For this model you don't really need that, but I think it makes the model easier to see when I'm painting it in this way. So let's finally get to the painting time, and for the base coat of all of his armor I am going to be using Caliban Green, the good old Dark Angels colour, but I think it's a great base for this normal standard army issue paint. And thankfully, unlike a lot of models I've been doing recently, I don't have to be too careful about where this paint goes, as I don't really need to rely on existing highlights. I can kind of be as sloppy as I like. And when I painted this green, I used about 2 to 3 thin coats, just slapping it on pretty much everywhere. Then we can now move on to what will be the most frustrating colour of the day, Xandri Dust. I find this paint can get a little bit chalky, and I've had this experience with pretty much any of these deserty coloured paints. But for this we're going to be painting all of his under armour and his under jacket in this lovely deserty colour. This will add some really nice contrast to the model, but the unfortunate thing with these colours, you're going to have to be really careful and thin down your paint quite considerably to get a nice smooth finish. This probably took me about 3 thin coats to get a nice coverage. And now we can use one of my favourite paints, Black Legion. It's basically a black paint that you don't need to thin down, and you could just slap on and it'll have such a nice coverage. And for this I'm going to be painting his boots and his las gun. I also decided to paint the straps on his armor leg, but for this you're going to need a steady hand, and it might be worth doing this before adding the desert colors beforehand. So let's get moving on and start using one of my favorite new paints, Thrash Metal. This is a really nice warm silver, and for this we're going to be painting basically any metallic objects on this model, like any random buckles, metal parts on the gun, and his little radar antenna thing on his backpack. I also chose to paint all of those little holes we did earlier and any battle damage, so that it'll look like the paint has been chipped off. I also wasn't that happy with how the silver looked on the cables, so I decided to return and paint them black. So I must say, Uthwayan Air Grey is probably my favourite white. It's basically a very light grey, but I'd call it a white. It's one of Citadel's air range, which means it's already pre-thinned for an airbrush, but I think it looks great when you're using it on a normal standard brush. So all I'm using it for is to basically paint anywhere where I'm going to add a contrast paint. In this case, it was all of the leather, his helmet's visor, and of course these little indents on the gun, as I want it to look like it's radiating some heat. But before we get to adding some of the lighting on this miniature, I wanted to quickly paint some of the cables in blood red, as well as some of the little buttons on his weapons and arm. So let's finally get to adding some of these nice neon oranges. For this you can use Luminous Orange or Fluorescent Orange by AK Interactive, and I'm basically adding a single coat over all of the white spaces, and if I can see too much white underneath it, I add a single another coat a little bit thinned down. And as you can see, it really is such a beautiful paint. And when it came to painting his visor, I chose the Frostheart contrast paint, as it is quickly becoming my favourite blue ever. And it works perfect for this visor, adding that nice dark contrast to the rest of the model. And for this I used about 1 to 2 coats over that white. And for all of our green lights, I use Striking Scorpion Green, as it's another lovely vibrant green contrast paint that we can add to our collection. Then moving on to all of the leather, I use Seigel Brown, which is another all-in-one contrast paint that will just make your leather look beautiful. And when you thin it down slightly with a little bit of water, it really adds so much of that contrast into the leather. Okay, so it's finally time for the worst part, or at least the hardest part of the miniature, and it's time to paint all of that camouflage. For this, I'm using Steel Legion Drab, and we're basically going to be painting a lot of triangles, overlapping triangles. That seems to be the basic camouflage pattern for the Kasrkin, and then we're going to be outlining those triangles with some white paint. This type of camouflaging is definitely pushing it into the intermediate and the advanced territories, as you're going to need to be as careful as you can not to overspill onto the green and the brown. But thankfully there are some things we can do about this, as we can go over our white highlights with the base coat of green to really try and thin out those lines. And after much needed practice, it's time to see if my freehand really holds up, and spoilers, it doesn't. But it's really important to push yourself and to give these things a go. One of the hard parts about this is deciding how much camouflage you want on the miniature, and I decided to add 1 to 2 triangles per armor piece. And the good thing is we haven't added any of our green highlights yet, and it's really easy to fix any of our mistakes just by going over it with our base color. And once I was kind of happy with that, it's time to move on and start highlighting all of our under armor with some Zandri dust, adding a tiny bit of pale sand into the mixture, gradually creating some highlights. And when it comes to deciding where I want my highlights to be on my miniature, as you can see, I like to think of it as adding little sketch lines. And if it's only slightly brighter, it will look really good and blend in amazingly, especially after we add our wash later on. And once I've done my sketch patterns, I add a tiny bit more pale sand, and that's when I do my edge highlights. And we can now move on to one of our final paints, and that is Straken Green. And we're pretty much going to be doing the exact same thing we did for all of the under armor, but now for all the actual armor. I'm going to be adding Straken Green ever so slightly to the Caliban Green, making this slightly lighter green. And I'm going to be basically sketching it in between all of the green armor panels, aiming towards the top of the surfaces and not really bothering about anything below the top. And now we've pretty much done all of the base coating, and you can pretty much leave it here if you're happy with it, but I'm going to be adding a dark brown enamel wash to really grim it up a bit. And I'm going to coat this literally all over the miniature. The reason why I personally love adding like these brown enamel washes afterwards, I think it just gives it a lot more character to the model, and it really does make it so much more detailed, and it looks like you spent a lot longer on it, which to me is a massive plus. One thing though, make sure not to get any of that enamel wash on the visor or any of the bright parts. Next, we can remove the wash with some Winsor & Newton Sansador, and we're just going to dip some Q-tips in, ever so slightly just dab it onto the miniature, and this will start removing all of that wash. And we really only need the wash to stay into the recesses to add that shadows and contrast, and try to remove it on any of the highlighted areas. And then once it's dried about a day later, here it is. At this point, I'd probably think about adding some more of those highlights, but I just wanted to show you what it looks like in a really quick base coated scheme. I think this is a really fun and great way to paint, especially if you're short on time. Let me know what you think, and especially for the diorama that he's going to be featured in, who do you think he should be fighting? I've been Reese, and I'll see you in the next one.